Greetings, everyone, from Las Vegas, Nevada. Today, we're at HUDL Brewing Company and Tasting Room. HUDL is located in the Art District of Las Vegas. We're having a few beers with Skip Norfolk. He's going to show us behind-the-scenes tour of the brewery and sample a few of their brews.
Damn near everything you taste. And that's our bill, but we're not making flour. We're just cracking it open because we don't want to destroy the kernel. We just want to crack it open. So
I can see what it looks like, though.
Here you go. Here you go.
No, I see it. It looks just like that shit I cut down in a fucking combine.
Yeah, so this is just a grain, you know. This is, but
we just crack it open.
Yep. Because with the germ, we want to keep as much of it intact as we can. Because this is a screw auger, so it's going to get beat up as it goes in.
I got you.
And then, so depending on the beer, depending on what we're trying to do with it from an alcohol standpoint or style, this is our mash tun. So this is basically where we start to make tea. Okay. So if we want to do, so we can control how much alcohol or residual sugar is going to be left in the beer.
All right.
Based on the temperature that we mash in at. So depending on what we're doing here, we can control a lot. We can change pH. You know, we can do a lot of things. So here we try to keep everything the same and just change temperature, right? So on an IPA, we'll add gypsum because we want the hop to come through.
I see. It's still before it's brewed, or that's at the brewing stage.
We're just pulling all the sugar out of the grain at this point. Mash. So we'll transfer this with these pumps, and we'll put it in the kettle. And when we start putting the kettle, that's when we start to put, depending on the beer again, that's when we'll start to put hops in, coriander. There's some different things you can put in at different stages.
Do you ever add sugars? Okay.
Yeah. Especially on big beers.
Yeah.
So like in what we're doing here, the final gravity of or original gravity of 1090 is about all we're ever going to get. Right, so you have complex and simple sugars we can pull out the different temperatures that we want, but we'll add dextrose. If we're doing a beer that is, right now on our system for 15 barrels, if we're trying to get a 15 barrel batch that is over 8.5%, we'll add a little bit of dextrose to it.
Okay.
Anything at 7.5% and under, we don't ever have to worry about it.
Not bad. Yeah.
So like if we're like this Scorched Meadows, we did it 8.6%.
Okay.
Instead of bringing over 17 barrels, we brought over 15.
I see.
Gotcha.
Right, so we bring over less, so it's not watered down as much.
Yep.
So we're getting the first running is your strongest amounts of sugar, and at the end it gets less because you're bringing in water, filtering it down, cleaning it out, and trying to pull as much as you can out, but you're not getting as much sugar out as you did the very first time. So this one is the Whirlpool. So what we're finding now.
Can I go up there?
Yep. So what we're finding is that the industry is that we're able to, the Whirlpool. So this is the Whirlpool. This is where we'll start to clean it up. So this thing spins. We can use Irish moss. We use a product which is a combination of Irish moss. It's called Whirlfloc, and it basically attaches the proteins, and you're pulling as much of the protein out of your beer. We don't have a filter in our building.
So it's all unfiltered.
Everything we have is unfiltered.
That's beautiful. That's great.
That's a beautiful beer.
So the point of filtering is to make it look cleaner?
Clear.
Yeah.
And you can also, by filtering it, you're going to pull yeast out. You're going to pull some of the things out that give you some off flavors or astringencies on the back end of different beers.
I have seen
it's like clear
people
sake versus that clouded
beers
sake I love so
we're
much.
unfiltered.
Unfiltered.
And I see it often, but I didn't realize what the...
So normally, what 99% of the breweries do is call it unfiltered, and they leave it hazy because they're lazy.
I got you.
But it looks good.
We're unfiltered, and this is a beautifully
And that's a testament to the cleanliness?
No, it's time and technique.
Ah, okay. You didn't burn anything? It's like...
It's just, we let it crash for 3 or 4 days.
I've been teaching her about sauces, and I'm like, you gotta take your time.
Sometimes time.
You can't just dump your wine in and your stock in. You gotta reduce your wine down. Then
you can rush it. You can put enzymes in. You can do all this stuff and rush it, and it'll be great right up until you put something that's taken the time and you talk to it and you've nurtured it.
Yeah.
You're gonna go, oh my God, this is so much better.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's time. There's nothing like time.
Nitrogen.
As opposed to carbon dioxide.
So, I mean, I think I drink coffees that are with nitrogen.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
CO2 is a bigger bubble. Nitrogen is a smaller bubble. It's a different gas. So CO2 activates the taste buds immediately on the tip of your tongue all the way throughout. A nitrogen beer, it's such a small one, it doesn't start to activate until it gets towards the back of your palate. And it activates from the back half of your tongue and all your taste buds. So, full beer.
So that's your mixer. This is your yeast.
So all these are done, and now we're just letting them age.
How long you let them age?
Okay, that's a super mini.
Yeah.
That's vanilla oak.
Mm-hmm.
If you took the chocolate out of it, that's a 15 to 17 day beer.
Okay.
Oh.
That's a 35 day beer.
So this
In 10 days, we stop fermentation. 10 days in on every beer we do, we stop fermentation at 10 days.
All right.
Unless it gets to the finished gravity beforehand, but then we'll slowly
let it
cool
rest.
it down.
Yep.
But at day 10, we'll take it, and normally most of these beers, let's just say everything we do stays at 69 degrees. It's not, but let's just say that for this conversation. Then as we'll start to cool the temperature down as we're trying to control fermentation, and then depending on how quickly it's been moving the last couple of days, we'll shut the tank off and let it naturally carbonate itself.
Gotcha.
Because it's such a better carbon. Natural carbonation is softer than what we can put in by force.
Yeah.
The only enzyme we use here is an enzyme. It's called an alco, and what it does, it just bonds to protein. The double hazy that we just did, because it's a hazy beer, we don't have to clear it up. We go right out of the fermenter.
Okay.
So there's a big tube.
Yeah.
Okay, so that big tube now is pointing this way. So we pulled it up in the beer, so we were doing it so we don't have to worry about all the yeast and trub and all the stuff that's in the bottom.
So
everything that we do, by the time it gets out of our grease trap, pH neutral.
Yeah.
I
Everything
see.
is pH
We do that
neutral.
with yachts.
So
All the spent grain, we have the ostrich farmer. There's
That's-
an ostrich and pig farmer picks it up, and that's what he feeds his ostrich.
okay,
We
it's a
just-
gift.
He picks it up.
Okay.
We don't have to throw it. So
Getting hot.
this one tomorrow, right? So this beer went in on 9/14. We brewed it, okay? And on 9/26, so 12 days, we
Crash.
crashed it.
Yeah.
So you can see where we did a yeast dump,
Yep.
where we're pulling yeast out because we don't want the yeast to start to eat itself, and that's what makes bad beer. So we're constantly cleaning the yeast out. So tomorrow, this beer will be transferred into this tank. This was a tank that we canned from today, so we got to clean this tank tomorrow. We'll clean this tank tomorrow, and then we'll put that. Here's the vanilla oak. Okay, so that went in on the 17th. This beer was crashed on the 27th, so 10 days,
Yep.
and we've just been letting it sit here because we use the yeast from this, we use to make a few of the other beers.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, but you can you reuse the yeast.
We can generate our own yeast.
Stop by HUDL Brewery in the Art District of Las Vegas and try their Hex Cream Ale.